In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Cloud Extender to launch an instance from AWS Console inside a VPC container and access it. A VPC container has been created for this example. Go to Instance Wizard, select Launch an instance from AWS Console. This wizard will take you through step by step. So to launch an instance from AWS Console and then access it, step 1 is to determine the subnet ID and VPC ID where the instance will be launched from. After you determine that, then you go to AWS Console to launch that instance. So just for a purpose of information, let's go to Dashboard and say we want to launch an instance from the VPC container project 1. So we take a look at the detailed information for project 1. This is the VPC ID for project 1 container, and say we want to launch an instance from a private subnet. Let's say we want to launch an instance from this subnet, 32.0. Okay. Now, then we come to AWS Console, say launch instance. So we like to launch a Ubuntu instance. Configure instance details. This is where you need to select the VPC that you wish to launch the instance from. And after you select the VPC, then you select the subnet. And this is the private subnet we have selected. Select that and launch. And choose a key pair that you have created before. Click Launch Instance. So now this is the instance that we just launched. Take a note of this instance ID, then come back to Cloud Extender Console. Launch an instance from AWS. We have done step 1 and step 2, so now we'll click on Next. Next is to set up access to this instance. Now this instance showed up. This is the one we just created. Now this is a Linux instance, so I can either use a Elastic IP, CloudX Elastic IP, or a CloudX Elastic port. Now since it's a Linux instance, and for this example, I'm going to show you how to do Elastic port. For Linux instance, you can simply click SSH port 22. If this is a Windows instance, you can use RDP to access. Okay, so we have CloudX has allocated a Elastic port that point to this instance for service port 22. Now I'm going to show you how to access this instance with this information. I go to my party and use the key pair that I have stored and use the IP address that CloudX showed me. This is for port Elastic port. This is the VPC container ID, and the port number is 12,000 that CloudX allocated automatically. And since this is a Ubuntu instance, the login is Ubuntu. There you go. That's it for this video.